People often think that sensitivity is what makes life harder. That if you feel a lot, sense a lot, or if you pick up on everything around you, then that it must be a bad thing or it must be the issue. But the truth is, sensitivity isn't the problem. The real issue is the lack of self-reference, or what I call self-authority. Self-authority is what allows you to feel the world around you and to sense the world around you without letting it impacting you or having an effect on your well-being. Because the truth is, sensitivity shouldn't be something that we suppress. It's something that we learn to live with. It can become a real force if we know how to build a safe container to come back to. And all of this comes from building that self-reference inside you. Because sensitivity in itself is not a weakness, it's not the issue. And actually, with the right internal structure, sensitivity can become a real force. And I know this is not what we often hear, but this can become something that serves you. The problem is that many sensitive learned very early to sense their surroundings in order to feel safe. You start reading the room before you enter. You notice shifts in tone, in mood, in energy of your surrounding, or you sense the change in voices or body language. And that itself can make you become hyper aware. You start adapting your behavior to what you sense around you. And you can easily get affected by what you sense. It's not because sensitive are fragile or weak, but because at some point they learn that awareness was a way to protect themselves. The truth is that that ability can be used as a force. It can be very powerful, but without that self-reference or self-authority, that sensitivity can easily overwhelm you. When you sense everything outside of you, but don't have a strong point of reference inside of you, your system stays open all the time. And everything comes in regardless of whether you choose to let that emotion or that energy comes or not. You're not really deciding, and you get affected by it without filters. This is why developing self-authority is really important. Self-authority helps you build an inner container, something stable you can come back to. Self-authority really helps you to create that self-container, something stable that you can come back to inside you. it gives you this internal compass. And with that container, you can start to decide when you want to direct your sensitivity outward or when you want to bring it inward. That way you stop being pulled by what you feel or the emotion that can come up, and instead you start choosing how you engage with it. So really creating that inner compass is the real solution. It allows you to distinguish between what belongs to the world around you and what belongs to your inner world. That distinction between the world outside of you and your inner world is what creates these boundaries. It's not these rigid barriers, but it's clear boundary. It doesn't cut you from the world, but it allows you to bring filters with what comes from the outside world. Because when you're sensitive, you naturally feel more, you sense more, and feeling more without direction always turns, or almost always turns, into overwhelmed. Not because sensitivity is wrong, but because it's unmanaged. Self-authority gives you that direction without trying to control or dominate your emotions. You can feel without letting the emotion affect you. And you can choose to or decide to use that sensitivity or not. You don't need to suppress what you feel. You don't need to shut down. You can feel deeply without letting emotions control you. And you can sense things without being overwhelmed by them. And this is an important distinction. Sensitivity without authority or self-authority turns into reactivity. You're constantly responding, absorbing, and adapting. But sensitivity with self-authority becomes a force. It becomes discernment, and it can bring precision and depth. And when I talk about self-authority, I don't mean control or dominance. It doesn't mean forcing yourself to be strong or unaffected. It simply means you decide how you want to respond. It simply means you decide what you respond to and how you respond to it. You become the initiator of your decision and choices instead of always being at the effect of what you feel or what happens around you. Without self-reference, every emotion drives you and you get pulled by every sensations. With self-reference or self-authority, emotion gives you an information. It informs you about your emotional states. Emotion gives you this signal about how you feel and what's happening inside you. It tells you something about your inner state, but they don't dictate your behavior. So basically, your emotion inform you. They don't take decision for you. They don't lead you. And this is why the decision is not to become less sensitive. You don't need to harden yourself or becoming more strong or numbing yourself. You don't need to dominate or control that sensitivity. what you really need is to start building that safe container, that solid place inside yourself you can come back to when you need. And you know that you can always return to that safe container, because sensitivity isn't meant to run your life. It was never meant to control you. It was meant to serve you. And you will realize that when you learn to use that sensitivity, instead of letting it use you, it can become a powerful force in your life. So I hope this video helped you. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you on my next video. Bye.